You saying this bit about we just don't have a clue?
Well, what I say, we know only the square, and not the bottom and the top square.
What do you mean by that, Ceres? Because we've never been there. Like, we've been to bits of Antarctica, but we've not been...
Never shown. It's never shown. I got it out of the data because I took the photographic dimensions. What are the squares? Out of the elevation data, what is the only one in the data form, what is requested through the latitude longitudinal unit, is I actually could go to the 90 degrees or the 98.99999 degrees. What correlated to the half size of the pixels. In the center of the pixel every time I'm zooming in to the next level. And this creates the whole grid of the elevation on the bottom of it. And in there we see what the effects are and actually can correlate this whole of the Earth in the sense of the 4 pillars of the Earth. What isn't completely electromagnetic effect there we can see. In the south, we can even see the single wave square. Oh, yeah, not in level 12 though. And this correlates to me as being a kind of couple.
So explain what those lines are in the middle.
Center.
Explain what the lines are in the middle.
Probably there is this center in where the sides are coupled as well as kind of the end of the square. But it's mainly coupled between north and south. If you ask me, I need to draw a circle from the bottom center to the top center and then sideways exactly at sea level to position a bubble. And the bubble itself is probably the height of the maximum sky. Or it is in that sense.
You messaged me. You messaged me and told me what that was. So explain what that is again.
Huh?
The bit in the middle. The top pink line is the Capricorn, the Tropic of Cancer. The bottom pink line is the Tropic of Capricorn. The green line is the equator 0 point, latitude 0. The flower in the heart, almost in the center of the heart, is the golden ratio between the tropical of Cancer and the equator. And it pretty lines up with the tree of life, the heart of the tree of life. So what does that mean exactly?
Now, this is out of the latitude longitudinal data I get from the equator, from the tropicals, which has both of them marked on the map in there.
Asking you,
Okay.
I know there's 7 circles in there, but if you actually left the white one out, there's 6. Are these the gate things with the sun?
Because I say I never really liked the Amelina thing, but you know, the moon and everything, like the sun, it doesn't do the same thing every day. It comes in fast, goes out fast, goes in higher, comes in lower. But I do see the different levels.
It goes the other beneath in a big circle and on top in a small circle. Well, yeah, I guess we know now why. I need to plot the sun course of the analemma as well, and the same for the moon.
I realise that it's talking about the different like levels. The gates are like stacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're the heights of the sun during the year.
The Capricorn of the tropicals. Then you see the two triangles, the small triangle on top and the big triangle on the bottom.
Right.
The way they go, but then in circle sense.
But it's not like I see the sun going round in this circle. You know, like as I just said,
no,
it can come in
that way because it is a yearly process.
It comes in. What I mean is this thing's about the height.
At exactly the same time every day to actually track it and see how the trail goes in the sky, and that depending on even on every location actually for every latitudinal position.
I monitored the sun a lot.
Where they take it.
I monitored the sun a lot last year, right? And I could see that now as the season was changing. So say we're in the midsummer, then the sun is at the height over my house. But as the season starts to change into autumn, the actual peak of the sun was going across the sky like that it was earlier in the day to get that arc where it's the highest to come down the lowest. But in the summer, it's over here. But like there were days when the sun came in lower and was coming in higher and was coming in there and was coming in there. So this is why I've struggled with this sort of circular like analemma in like on an angle like this. I just don't see it quite like that. And the moon doesn't run like that. The moon can be here, the moon can be there, the moon can be up, the moon can be down. Some days you'll get it going up. And I think that it does this pattern every month. So every month it's doing this, I'm lower in the sky, I'm higher in the sky. So it can't be 12 months it does this thing in this analemma and they've got it all perfectly on, because it just doesn't work like that. But I understand now that maybe what's happening is it's picking the gate it's coming through. Maybe, what is it? This part of the moon cycle and that part of the moon cycle and this part of the moon cycle, and the same with the sun. But maybe the sun doesn't do it as much, actually. But it does change. I've told you, the sun was arcing, say, at 11 o'clock and getting earlier as it was getting to the point in the sky. But the longer the days, in the summer, it was over here before it got to that bit where it was at the top. But I've seen the sun come at this angle like that and then go off like that.
What you want, but I want to actually see what you're saying.
No, you'll hear it. Just what I'm trying to say is that it's moving. The moon moves around every month.
On the map.
The moon moves around every month, but for months now it's been running a lot more southly. But in the summer it'll be all coming up here. But it'll go up like this and come up in different parts of the sky, and then be higher and lower.
Times well, the sun does it only one time in the year.
Those couple of times with Freddie, the moon had been when we had that hangout with Freddie Lee, and then we did that experiment, and it happened just like he said. For weeks and weeks, the moon had been much south, going much lower, like over there. I mean, quite a long way from my house over there. But then for those few days,
you need to wait for the video of.
Wait a minute. For the next few days, the moon being down there, Ceres was coming up over there. It was coming up really north.
See the video of Steve.
And then, yeah, well, we do need.
Cool, finish my video, he says.
Yeah, we do need to see that. But for the next few days, it came up really north, and then it worked its way down the sky again and went back to where it was.
Yeah.
I told you about that time when the moon came in and went across there, and then at 10:36, I think it was, something like that, it came really north, brought all the stars with it, then stopped, then went west. And I know it sounds crazy, but you have to see these things. And this is how the moon clicks the stars round to the seasons. Whoa. Anyway, I know a few people have seen it, so they know what I mean. So go back to your what you were showing us in the middle again, and talk a bit more about that.
Sorry, I posted on the group. But I wonder, did you upload it already?
Oh, what do you mean? Past it, you mean?
Oh, the video of Dave Marsh.
What, have you seen it?
He just said. No, he just finished it, he says. I
Oh,
wonder, did you upload it already?
I don't know.
Rendering. Good.
He's making his way.
Rendering takes a lot of time. That's how you make a movie. All the pieces together. Let's see.
So, it's moved on a bit more and looks really great. Does this help you at all with the sun and the moon?
No.
Or more's got to be done?
So. Nee, dat is net niet.
It's been a long day, Ceres.
Yeah, probably.
I was dressed at 9 o'clock this morning. I never do that on a weekend. Anyway, it was a really good day. That's sort of so out of my comfort zone to go to somewhere like Leicester. I don't mean that horribly to Leicester. I just mean, you know, we're quite a sleepy place, and that's quite a big place. And then we ended up driving around Birmingham because took a couple of wrong turnings, and then Birmingham's just, wow, it's just so big and so different to here.
Slower.
It's just so different to here. It's a much bigger, it's a city, you know, and like we don't see these pylons in the middle of Newbury, and there's pylons like in 10 of them, and then these people lived in these blocks of flats looking at these pylons, all that free energy coming into them. All in sort of front. It's probably, oh, I don't know. This whole thing is crazy. Oh, this is what this guy said as well, very quickly. He said what they do is they give you, say, 100% of the electricity. You only use a fraction of it. Then they take it back and they charge you 100%, even though they probably take about 80% of the power back and then resell it on to the next person as well. Crazy, isn't it? So they're actually making millions of pounds or dollars, whatever, out of free energy, and then selling it to us, and then making us pay 100%, and then they take 80% of it back, and then they sell it to the next one.
Yeah.
It just gets worse. He confirmed that the pylons were using free energy to make electricity, which they then charge us. Just crazy. So you're quite a happy bunny though, yeah? Now you've done all that, because that just moves it along a bit and just reinforces everything.
Cool. So there are two. That means that I need another one as well. Let's do that one first. Moon and sun. It's exactly as the photographic dimensions.
So I'm just going through my messages. Say that again.
We have a sun and a moon on the lemma. I can also make the yellow blue here. No context.
What are you going to show me?
The blue is the moon, and the orange is the sun. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Now the pink is the tropicals. The center of their crossing point of their analemma is where the center of their circle is. So they're exactly their opposites in there's the photo protection. I can also disable it. Okay? I can here tick, 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 tick. Only this with the tree of life, with the lines, with the circles, with the map. Cool, huh?
It is. Ceres, you've been working very hard.
Yeah.
You're enjoying this bit though, aren't you?
I am so enjoying this. Finally, some actual truth.
Again though, what dimension is that circle in? Those circles in?
The circle size is the radius between the Capricorn, between the tropicals and the equator.
So what dimension are they in?
The little circle after that is an octave size of that particular circle. That's 1/7 of a circle.
So what dimension is all this in?
Well, I created the flower of life with it as well.
But what dimension is it in? You've got the sun in the 4th dimension, so what dimension is that in?
Sun, yeah, probably yes, 5th as well.
So what look like circles on there are actually straight lines for
the tree itself has all kinds of functions as well in the bottom as in the top. And the heart is its own function.
What I'm saying is that you've been telling us over and over again that 3D goes a straight line, but 4D goes in a circle. So if they're in 4D, to us it's a straight line, but on the flower, the tree of life, it's circles. Yes?
always at sending with images. I can't speak when I'm sending an image.
Ceres, did you hear what I said?
No, it's sending Dave a message.
If you've told us that in 3D it goes in a straight line, but in 4D it loops back on itself, so like going round, so you walked a straight line, you'd come back on yourself. That being the tree of life in 5D, the circles to us are straight lines, but they're circles because of the dimension they're in. That's what I'm asking you.
Well, I don't understand the question yet. Try to ask it again.
You've told us that the sun is in the 4th dimension, and this is how it goes in a straight line, but it comes back on itself. So sort of looping and sort of not quite going around, but going around somehow, because you walk a straight line, but you come back on yourself. You said that that is in the 5th dimension. So although they're circles on there, to us they're still straight lines. I'm asking you that. Because you said that they're the sun and moon, they're the sun and the moon in there, and that's the analemmas and all that. You just said that just a minute ago. But we see everything going straight across.
Well, what I'm creating here is the focal point of where the analemma is.
Yeah.
Where they have the small circle on one side and the larger circle on the other side between the tropicals.
Yes, but they're going around. They're going around in like a circle, aren't they? Then.
What you need to understand, the analemma is based on what they do in a single wave cycle. Based on their cycle, they return back at the same position as a full circle, and that is for the sun a complete year. And for the moon, 12 times a year. So there's that difference, but there is also, it's a 12 or a 13. What is the 13? 13 moons per year?
What? What is that you were talking to Dave?
Yeah. Also, yeah, I'm talking to you as well.
What were you
13,
saying?
Yeah.
He's saying there's 13 moons a year.
13 dimensions. I mean, 7 is just the hard bit. A balance. $28 points. Yeah. Days.
You mean the moon runs on 28 days, and then over the year that makes 13 months, like, of moon cycles.
Just, yeah.
Because there's 28 days in a moon cycle, over the year that makes an extra month. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24. Would make that 24 days then. Oh, I don't know.
What's that? But the small numbers can do with large changes. Yeah. "18 parts to the day." 18. 3 times 6, 2 times 9. Wow, he's doing a lot. Enoch is the one thing I need also to actually connect it back and then lay that out on the map. Still there?
Yeah, I was listening. Just taking it in.
Yeah. I'm missing the level dot. Where's the third dot? And then until the moon X touches the other side of the frame. That time he took, and that's calculating the time of how fast it got beyond your screen, and that was several arc seconds or something. And but
so how
the
did he get?
Took, entering the frame and actually getting at the edge of the other side of the frame. That is the time he took. And that measurement gave that the northern side is slower than the equator, and the southern side is also slower as at the equator, so it speeds up at the equator, but it is even faster in the south than it is in the north. So it seems to me that you have this particular analemma in where it is the other way around as the sun. So you have, and then also this 13 frequency as a division of it, 13 dimensions. That's where that came from, I guess. So yeah, well, definitely. Takes a while to actually put it all in words. I guess he's writing the book the same.
I'm really glad you know what you're doing, Ceres.
Yeah. Day and 9 parts night. 2 times 9. Yeah. And it's also north-south polarity with the east-west polarity. The tattoo bold guy explained also a lot about this magnetical field. And what I noticed was that he has the north-south as a z-axis, and then you have an east-west axis and no, the polarities are up and down, and then you have east-west and north-south as also a directional field in that magnet field. So yeah, it's a ball which you can slice through, and then you have then you see the double axis in there. But this particular magnetic field, what I saw of how it actually happens and how you actually see this kind of drop effect on a television with a magnet, and that shows me there's an XY axis in the middle as well, and the Z axis is the north-south directional outwards. That's the bigger field. And then east-west is the smaller field contained in that particular field. And then also in the center, at some point there's an edge where you will go over to the larger field. And you don't have that XY axis, other than its own orientation in things, I guess. Let's forget the day count is different. 28 days in February. Great little read. The day count is different. Yeah.
A whole sort of map coming together slowly, but with more information.
Yeah, I finally got a grip to put it in perspective and how it works in circles and squares. It's pretty simple, actually. Oh, yeah, that's gonna take.
We just have to keep showing the group series.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, series. Can you say that again?
Yeah, the sun and the moon traveled a wave over between the cap of the tropicals, and both have a sort of an lemma in where you take every day or exact time or something, a picture of the sun, but pick a different moment as the cycle is 13th part of that of the sun. So its wave is 13 times faster, but it has its own lemma, and the moon's crossing point is exactly the other side of the equator, probably.
So they're swinging around a bit there, then.
Yeah, it's kind of an dimensional thing, as in that 7 is the center of 13, and you have 6 above and 6 below, and then you have the 7 days and 6 nights of creation, and yeah, it's kind of balancing we are also in the heart of it. And the funny thing is, the sun cross point of the lemma lays almost exactly in the tree of life heart chakra, within this square in the circle projection.
So where does the 6 gates of Enoch come from then, series?
I don't know yet. I'm not even sure what gates are for so far. I'm still figuring out what the data itself actually is. I need a very good breakdown of what it actually says. There are numbers here and numbers there, but yeah, there's a whole translation into what it actually says.
There's a star in the middle as well, isn't there? There's a star in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. That's because there's a flower of life drawn in it.
Mm.
And there's a double flower of life drawn in east and west, what creates the star. Either the blue one or the yellow one.
Can I ask you something else? It's the tree of life. I understand all that, and the circles, the squares, the lines, everything. There's no way it's a pyramid shape.
There's no way it's a pyramid shape. What is?
That's the way some other people think. We don't need to go into names, really, do we? But where I was working before, everybody was talking about pyramids. We're a pyramid shape above us, the whole thing. None of that is like a pyramid shape, is it?
Well, nature doesn't work with straight lines. Nature works with circles. We seem to work with straight lines, as in squares. And the triangles are the translation are actually the, how do you say it? It's laying between the circles and the squares. So yeah, it's by drawing lines in triangles, you can actually create the whole flower of life pattern and squaring in that sense.
What do the red lines do to it all? There's 4 red lines coming in. I know they're part of triangles, but what do they do to everything?
Red lines? Yeah, there are
these are the lines, what is connected in the
There's one in the middle as well.
tree of life.
Mm.
Yeah, you have here this one above, and then you have this here between the top two, and this one is aligned to even one on top of that, and this one also on top of that, and that creates this
Ceres. That's not like the
particular,
line. Ceres, can I ask you something? Those red lines, they're not how.
Japanese flag, or yeah, I think Japanese flag has this sun rays part in this flag, and where you see these particular horizontal line two below, and of the 3 2 below, and then 1 2 3 4 5 2 up, and 1 horizontal.
Mm. Can I ask you something? You know these red lines? You know our light, we have a separate light source, and that light source moves from north to south. So south is winter, north is summer. Do those red lines have anything to do with that?
That are sun rays, it seems, as it is depicted in the flag. It's the same balance thing. You see it back in the tree of life itself. Try to zoom out as much as possible. It's so heavy. Okay.
How does our source of light work on that then, Ceres, as a question, or don't you know? You know how the light, I've told you, in the winter it's in the south, it comes up, the light comes up there with the sun, but in the summer it comes up in the north. How does that fit in? Is that the red lines?
In this sense, I would also say this is why we probably have also more winter cold in the south and more summer warmth in the north, in that the moon, its focal point is in the south, and the sun, its focal point is in the north.
But Australia's really hot. What do you mean by that? Australia?
Life forms between north and south.
You mean because of Antarctica?
Yeah, Antarctica's life forms are way less than in the north, and the 60-degree latitude temperatures are colder as well. And it's probably because the moon's focal point is in the south, and that of the sun is in the north. So this is why it's in the north warmer.
And where's Polaris roughly in their series?
Well, the sky is still, it's probably not even in the sky, in Google Sky's image.
No, I meant in your map. I meant your map.
I'm missing the whole square on top, so I can't map that. It's missing in the image, but yeah, I figured I could actually make it from the three-dimensional map back into the projection, back into the flat latitudinal projection, back into the square, and then the square on top. That's how I could translate it all back. But yeah.
And just so everybody knows, because a few people have talked to me a bit about the new land found round New Zealand. If you look round these places here, you can see the same kind of thing in the waters. You know, there's just, round here, there's green. What does that mean, that was extra land? Maybe it was, but, you know, in all the stuff I've seen, there's this sort of, what do you call it, less deep water around. And now they're turning that into a new continent. sunken continent. But there are other places where this happens around where we live.
Yeah, I wish I could put an animator on this, that it actually animated the sun and the moon. Wow, that would be nice to see the animals.
So how are you going to do that then, Ceres, with our readings?
Yeah, well, it's two-way working actually. One way is from the data itself, plotting all the directions in the time, and to actually how do you call that? Calibrate the animation in how the mathematical side of this actually works. Live patterns and waves and everything.
Frequencies.
I wonder, for example, the distance between the Capricorns or the tropicals, where that is a number of actually, is that a balance between north and south somewhere? What is its actual how do you call that, square relation, square and circle relation? They're around 24th, yeah, both are around the same latitude in
See, look
line
here.
close.
This bit here, all the way up here, then is a lost continent, but they only show this bit round here. They don't show all this bit up from Australia up to well, what is that? Oh, well, there's India. I can't remember what that is now, but Japan's up here, so there's lots of lighter water there. And it's like, but suddenly New Zealand turns into a continent, a sunken continent.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a bit mind-blowing, Ceres.
Yeah, probably. And I'm just putting this together with only the numbers and ideas and what
How do we get to do the, how are we going to get to do the animation then?
Oh, that's just a new layer in this. And one what actually renews itself. And one where I can draw in the lines, etc. Completely my own animator instead of the Google Maps.
Yay, that would be a good day to come off Google Maps.
Yeah, actually find out what the correlating relation is between the directions.
I'm not sure if people, they love it. It's fascinating in a way because, like you say, the ones that are on the program can simulate and see the readings for the months and stuff. And then, it, you know, you zoom out, you zoom in, you can see the stuff for yourself. But when you're showing it to the group, they suddenly go, well, they're all curved. And it's kept repeating, you know, like Ceres would love to have just gone in there and gone, change, change, change. Everything's straight now, how it should be, how we see it. But you couldn't sort of, it was, they've encoded their own program sort of thing, haven't they? So you couldn't just go in there and change it to fit our readings. It had to fit.
I'm just completely
on Google Maps. On Google Maps, it had to be a ball. But now, this way is taking that like away from Google Maps and turning it into what it really is.
Yeah.
It's happening. And you know something? Ceres, listen to me, listen.
It's funny how the sun is the heart chakra the same.
Just like that guy with his machine.
What machine? Oh yeah.
Picking up the heartbeat of the middle of, well, picking up the heartbeat of the tree of life. And we live in the heartbeat of the tree, or the heart, what did you say? Heart chakra of the tree of life.
Yeah, this is the heart chakra of the tree of life.
And that would mean that we're alive. And that we have a heartbeat frequency.
There's an upside down tree the same. In that it is the anode and cathode. So in you have either a top down direction and a bottom up direction. And that's two directional in fifth dimensional sense. Then you have the east-west, what is still the same looping circle in 4D. And then you have this bottom right electrical layover map in where it connects to this right bottom circle. That's one of the that's the third level in the chakra, actually. The first two are Sodom and Gomorrah.
And like I was just saying, this guy...
Everything from Santos Bonacci, the same. He completely explains the astrological side of this tree of life as well. How it connects with the planets. And probably we're going to map out this the planets the same, this whole map, how it actually correlates to the rhythms and the frequencies. How we can actually draw a kind of fixed map of patterns. Same as those planets do around the sun, in where they create this circling circle pattern that you can draw perfectly over this this whole square. Probably in and around the tropicals. But it seems kind of golden ratio of this, maybe the red line here and the equator here, and then this the golden ratio of it. Not sure if that is true. Find out. This is latitude 0 though. So there's a relation in the difference between the heart chakra and the equator. And I'm seeing that it is actually in balance with the moon.
So the moon appears below the equator and the sun appears above the equator.
It could be that the planets are between this square, and I think this is the square we see as a projection. Same as I got the magnetical map. I'm gonna resize it also to make a layer.
So what about the one above then? What about the two circles above? These ones, well, these two up here, so above Greenland. What about those two then? What do they do?
Above the blue ones, you mean? Those are the east-west orientated flower of life leaf points, of seed points from the center. It's the same center, heart chakra, but it is the opposite polarity in the sense that the tree of life is based in north-south direction, but this one is in east-west direction. That's a quarter turned. Polarity in that sense. in opposite polarity.
So the two at the top work a little bit differently than the 5 in the middle.
The electromagnetic field of the magnet, in where the polarities are north and south, then Earth is the plane of X and Y. And this is this double axis you have in this quarters. You have also this middle line there and this middle line there, what is actually making a quarter of a circle. The 90 degrees angles. And the plane is the plane of the complete magnetical field, in where it is up and down. If you ask me, this is why we have an up and a down. 3 dimensions.
So what's this bit about? You said you've got a square missing and you can't find the. What is that bit then?
The square missing we see always on top of on the bottom, and that's where people are getting confused with, because they only know the latitudinal adjusted map, in where this whole top and bottom is reduced into several pixels.
So show me then with your cursor, where's the missing box?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh well, let's load level 10 actually. First. Top yellow line. Everything below that we don't see. It's
what you mean? Square. You mean the wavy line?
No, the complete yellow square on the top of the, where you see the pull down of level 10. From there to the bottom is what we don't see. And you have the same square exactly at the top.
I'm a bit confused. I'm a bit confused.
It is there because it is hidden in this square formula, in where they show the mirror.
Oh, I see what you're trying to say. Just so that what you're trying to say is all that we're looking at is because you've downloaded the elevation. All we're seeing here is there.
The elevation, because that is the only one in where you can actually get based on the latitude longitude reading the information. All the rest of the information they show only in X and Y coordinates.
But when you're talking about the pixel side,
translate the whole latitude display back into the XY coordinates, or from the XY into the latitudinal.
What you're saying is, it's there in the elevation.
It's the latitudinal adjusted map, in where the squares on top and on the bottom, in an image of 720 pixels high, the whole square ends up inside 20 pixels. And we think that's it. Well, it's impossible to translate out of that latitudinal information back into this square.
So let me just get this straight then. For the elevation is the reason that we're seeing it the way it is. But the pixel side just stops at a certain point and gives you such lack of data, you can't see it in the pixels.
It's actually showing the actual dimensions of the square, because they're straight down top down images, and they're squared, and they're completely connected in a square. What actually connects east-west completely on each other as a four-dimensional looping. But they have only images up till latitude 85 and minus 85. They just don't show.
Okay, just answer this then. We've got 2 projects going. You've got.
The clue is it's photograph of the detailed location of your own location on this map.
Okay, but listen.
They show it.
We've got, or you've got two projects going. You've got a pixel one and you've got an elevation one. So where is the squares missing from? The pixel one.
Yeah.
But you can see it in the
This is
elevation.
all I thought. This is where it began. I mean, this is 0.0 at the left top. And I discovered the powers of 2 for every zoom level. In that every zoom level adds twice as much images in the width and in the height, generating 4 times more data. And this they have until zoom level 20, and that's pretty much. But they delete from level 8 every level beyond it even more. And well, yeah, we see what level 16 ends up with so far.
I just want to say something, you know, like in one sense, I suppose everybody wishes they could clap their fingers, right?
The elevation is a whole other reading. It seems that it is completely latitude longitude based for single positions, in where you get the z-axis height, and that's the third dimension in this. Third dimension, they actually add the north and the south areas, because there I can get everything between latitude 85 and 90. And this is how I end up with a complete square on top, because that's the actual dimension of what the formula creates. It's 1 times 3. 1 in the east-west and 3 in the north-south. But the squares themselves, in data, the bottom square seems to form the base root of the tree of life. And there is this wave in the elevation exactly at the edge, with a typical edge on where I could eventually place the base of the tree of life in latitudinal adjustment on it. 1/2 degree. And some maps suggested also a longitudinal adjustment of 15 degrees. What actually ended up the right corner on the right pillar of the southern pillar of Earth, and a left one here. You can see this in the elevation, a high mountain and a valley mountain. So you have this valley, a deep valley, and a valley mountain. Of deep mountain, I don't know how do you call it. Also lining up in that this is probably the pillar or something, and then I saw this what you see at the bottom, between the two on top and on the bottom in the square. You have kind of 4 faces in where you have them here, and on top of you have 1, in the middle you have 2. Here on the right bottom and on the left bottom you have 3, and then on the right and left side, which is exactly the same circle, you have 4. Connect back into this, so the 4 faces of a single pillar. And this is a pillar from where the whole magnetical firmament is all up to the dimensions of it, how big it is between north and south. There's a complete span between there. And if you ask me, there's a kind of a circle from the center of there upwards, completely down to here, downwards, exactly in the middle of the faces, where it crosses here.
Just asking you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any more like Antarctica or any more water, and they're just not showing you, like, I know they're showing you this, but do you reckon it goes on or it actually stops there?
What I saw in the book, our book, strip from Storm, the Turing machine, in where you have some kind of realm and a door to a next realm, and that's a complete other realm. And there's not really a kind of door, but this is where these no, I think that image.
Every time you look at it, you can see different patterns in everything and see how other things connect up.
Maybe I have it here. And
And again, while you're doing that series, people might not realise that, okay, September we said we'd start doing this, and then things changed in November, and then you started again in December, and everything that's come together, so that's the web page with the readings on it, with the photographs on it, with the simulations, all that Ceres is shown here for the last so many weeks. All this has really only happened since, like, the beginning of December, when, well, at the end of November, beginning of December. I mean, in a sense, you've done masses, Ceres, masses in the last few months.
This drawing here, you have this, oh, I need the other one actually.
I was praising you, Ceres. Because, like, if people don't think things are happening, they really are. Rome was not built in a day.
Here. All Earth, North Pole, Earth, South Pole. North here, South there. And then you have this other image in where you see all these bows. And this is kind of how these realms are actually having their own sky, in that sense. Their own firmament. And it's a complete circle in a fifth-dimensional sense. But in 3D is still a straight line. So it's kind of walking to the other realm. But the distances, yeah, I mean, damn, it's kilometers, and this is already 40,000 kilometers, and we only get in this band between South America and well, Russia, probably.
Is it 40,000 kilometers the other side then?
Yeah, it's 40,000 kilometers upwards as well, and there's probably 40,000 kilometers behind that, the same. But it seems more like it's also based on this flower of life pattern in frequency of the triangles. I end up with the triangles closer to the center than to the edge there of the square on top. Kind of what I have here, that I have the circle on top of the square edge. And this adds up in every square, so the distance between it is closer to the center of the square, and then adds up at the other side, and then at the same place again. And it does this in 7 steps to the other side. When you take the next square, this is the frequency between the flower of life pattern and the squares, the circles of squares. When you take the circle dimensions, in where you draw on one dimension, there's 2 circles, and the other 2 dimensions. What makes you end up with these particular 6 points?
Well,
and then you do this in the other direction, in the other axis, and then you have the other opposite circle pattern. What you see here in blue and yellow.
And just asking you, you know, this bit when you believe we've got one sun, one moon, all those flower of lives you can see, which we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6 of them. Yeah, they're not the gates, and the sun doesn't come through in those places there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sun doesn't come through for everybody through those 6. There's still one moon and one sun traveling. Yeah?
Yeah, if you ask me, this has also to do something with the Analema. 3 gates above, 3 gates below. And then in the middle, maybe a gate. Not sure. Could be correlating to the triangle pattern in it as well.
When you look at it like that, Ceres, right, I always, like at night time when the stars come out, it's a bit like suddenly someone's put a switch on in a amusement park and all the rides come alive. And that's beginning to also look like a big wheel. Although I know it's more. I know there's 2 at the top which are just out of picture.
You need the pink line?
Just yeah.
That's the latitude longitude circle of the Bermuda Triangle.
It would be really fascinating to really see where the pyramids are in that. And
the latitude longitude.
And the other thing is, without
I can do that.
Without going to, can I just say something, Sue?
What was how do you seek it? Oh wait, I think something else. Die gezongen. Huh?
The light source we have turns, comes up really north in the summer and really comes up south. I'm just saying whether they use it, but you can sort of see a grid on there. Is this where the gates are?
Oh, it's almost on the focal point of a flower of life pattern. Of inner band. And this is correlated to Orion. So we can also put in the map, the star map in this sense.
So that's one of the pyramids?
Yeah, the pyramids here on the right by my mouse. It's almost on the red line, but it's also almost on the focal point of that band in an octave. Small blue circles.
Do you want me to look up a couple of other big pyramids and see where they are? I'll look up a couple of other big pyramids. So we're putting a few pyramids in. So the Pyramid of the Sun is the largest building in, I can't even say it, Teoth, wherever that is, and one of the largest pyramids in Mesa, oh, I can't even read it with Mesoamerica. The name comes from the Aztecs who visited the city. The pyramid was constructed in 2 phases. That's what they say. The first construction stage, about 100 AD, brought the pyramid to nearly the size it is today. The second round of construction resulted in its completed size of 225 meters, 733 feet across, and 75 meters, 246 feet high. So you got that one?
Pyramids.
Ceres, we're making history.
Pyramid of the Moon. Oh, that's the other one.
Pyramid of the Sun.
Yeah, you have the Sun and the Moon. And that one is more south.
And smaller.
Yeah, indeed. Hey. Pyramid. Canada. Pyramid Peak. Khufu. The pyramid at Giza. That's just called that way. Okay.
Have you put the next one in then, Ceres? Did you put the one I said in? The pyramid of the Sun.
Yeah, the Sun, the Moon.
Oh right, you're putting them all in. Well, I can't believe it. Guess what? One of the 8 biggest pyramids in the world is a hotel thing in Las Vegas.
Of Queen.
It's Luxor Hotel. The Luxor Hotel was one of the first of the decade of long wave of new mega resorts to emerge from Las Vegas Strip in the 1990s, opened in 1963. So it could be one of the biggest pyramids, but it's not a real one. That gets into the 8 biggest pyramids.
Queens, yeah, these are the other. I have now the Giza and the Moon and the Sun, but are the next ones?
So you still haven't finished putting the Giza ones in. You haven't put the one I've said in, the Sun one.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
When we've been talking and I told you about the Pyramid of the Sun, you haven't got that far yet because you're still putting in the Giza ones.
No, I have already the Sun.
Oh, right, you haven't showed it, that's why. You've gone back to doing...
Yeah, no, I'm doing the whole list at once. So what's the next one?
There's La Danta El Marada. That's one of the 80th biggest pyramids. La Danta, L-A-D-A-N-T-A, and it's got comma, L-E-L, and then M-I-R-A-D-O-R.
L-E-L-A-I-D.
No, La Danta is separate. So to put a space between, and it's L-A. It's L-A. No, back to the beginning. Back to the beginning. Right there, it's La with a space Ceres.
Oh, La Danta.
And then it goes L, which is E-L. And then capital M-I-R.
I guess La Danta.
No, E-L. Leave that.
Pyramid House. He can't find this already. Do I really type it right?
Yeah, do that, and then put El Mirada.
Almirada.
E-L, and then Mirador. That's it. M-I-D. I-D. I-R, rather. I-R. M-I-R.
M-A.
No, M-I-R.
R.
Oh, dearie me. M-I-R.
Oh, damn, type it. The half I don't hear through the audio. Every time you say a word, I only hear the beginning and the
end. M-I-R. M-I-R.
L-I-R.
A-D-O-R. Yay, we did it!
Mirador. Huh. They don't know where it is. Okay, let's just search it. Oh, Mirador.
It was a major Mayan city that flourished from about the 6th century, reaching a peak of population of perhaps more than 8,000 people between the 3rd BC and the 1st century AD. That's what they say again, isn't it? Further constructions were undertaken until the city was abandoned at the end of the 9th century. The ruins were rediscovered in 1926, but received little attention due to the remote location deep in the jungle of northern... Oh my God, I'd have to spell it. Guatemala. That's where it is. Today, the site remains largely covered by tropical jungle, and the two largest structures at El Mirador, the complex, and the El Tiger and the La Donta complex, gives the impression of two large hills. Oh, there's masses more information, giving the heights of the pyramids.
Next one.
Oh my God, this is a really strange one. It's called Bent Pyramid. B-E-N-T Pyramid. And it's located at Darshur, which is D-A-H-S-H-U-R.
Give me the place name. Then can you copy and paste that in the messenger? Or in the Hangout?
Coming. Sent.
For sure.
It's mysteriously the Egyptian pyramid rises from the desert at an angle of 55 degrees, and then the desert at an angle of 55 degrees, and then suddenly changes to a more gradual angle of 43 degrees. One theory holds that due to the steepness of the original angle, the weight to be added above and the inner chambers and passageways became too large, forcing the builders to adopt a shallower angle. The base of the pyramid is, whatever big, 188 metres, that's 619 feet, and the height is 101 metres, which is 332 feet. But again, you just don't know how much of everything they tell you is the truth. You found it, yeah?
Yes.
Oh my God! The next one's called Red Pyramid. Red Pyramid.
That's a pyramid. Vietnam.
The Red Pyramid is the world's first successful attempt at constructing a true pyramid. The pyramid measures and that's the height and the largest pyramid in Egypt until the construction of the Giza pyramids. So it's in Egypt.
Yeah.
What really makes the Red Pyramid special today is the lack of crowds and that plague the Gaza plateau and the comparatively unregulated interior access.
It's almost next to the vent.
Are you going to make us wait till the end so we can see them? The next one's called the Great Pyramid of, and I'll spell it, the Great Pyramid of CH H OL ULA. CHOLULA. And it's in Mexico.
The middle of the city.
Yeah, but it looks like they had to unbury it, Ceres. If you look a picture of it, it looks like they've had to it, like half of it, most of it's in the ground. The Great Pyramid of whatever that is in Mexico appears to be a natural hilltop covered by a Catholic church. This is the...
Of course.
Well,
mark the spot.
The Spanish built in 1954 on the site of this prehistoric temple. According to the Guinness Book of Records, the temple is in fact the largest pyramid ever constructed anywhere in the world, with a total volume of 4.45 million metre, which is about 450 by 550 metres, 1,476 times 1,476, and a height of 66 metres, which is 217 feet. But most of it's under the ground. I'll send you a picture of it.
Well, there's more buried, like the Bermuda Triangle.
I'm sending you a picture so you can see what I mean.
I've seen one message of being pyramids being there.
Look at your message, Ceres. I sent you something.
Okay. Cholula. Here's the initial hilltop.
Oh my god, I've got even in better picture. Oh my god, Ceres, you've got to see this one. I think you should put it on the Hangout. Oh my goodness, this is the impression of it. And they've built the church on the top.
Oh.
Look at that one, Ceres. Look at the next one.
Where? Oh.
So the church got built on the top.
A miniature of it, yeah. Ducked-out miniature.
So that's what's underneath the church, hidden,
Wow.
buried in the ground.
Yeah. Complete pyramid in a pyramid. Wow. What a building. How the hell do you keep that up? Yeah, it's all geometry, yeah? Once you know the balance of everything, you can find the balance and put it in place.
I can't wait to see where all these pyramids are. Pyramid of, I'll spell it to you.
Kafra.
Oh yes, there you are. I don't even have to say it. Wait a minute. It's the largest pyramid at Giza, after the Great Pyramid, built by, is that what you just said? father of Khufu. It appears to be slightly larger, however, it is built at high elevation. The pyramid has a base of 215.5 meters, 706 feet, and originally rose to a height of 143.5 meters, 471 feet built, but is now 12 meters shorter. Oh, the most distinctive feature of this pyramid is the topmost layer of smooth stones that are the only remaining casing stones on a Giza pyramid, because it has like a capstone on it of remaining.
Oh, this.
Have you already got?
It's kind of the same. Yeah, I already have it.
Okay, can you show us what those pyramids do? Where are they, Ceres? Where are they?
Yeah, all here.
Oh. Do you want me to find some more pyramids out, Ceres, and send them to you? If I get some more pyramids and I get the longitude and latitudes, I can send them to you, so you only have to copy and paste them in then.
Yeah, that's all. I need the name and latitude and longitude. That's it.
I'll help you do that a bit.
You have to stay with this, with places like what you have.
Can you show us where they are again? You know, in a bit more detail, because I can't see them now.
Here on the left is the Mexico, and here in the right.
I can't see them, Ceres.
You can't see it?
Not really. Can you?
You don't see anything.
Oh, I see. Oh, you've zoomed in a bit too much now. Can you zoom out just a tiny bit? For perspective.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow. They're all by the Tropic of Cap. Which one's that? Cancer.
Yeah.
But that's.
It's all northern hemisphere.
What would that mean then, Ceres? If
I wonder what is in Field, for example.
I've got to give you some names of more pyramids yet. But if they all stay in that bit, what does that mean then? If they're following, like, the Cancer line more?
It's just the focus. You know, they're same as the Giza is actually correlating to the Orion. And I wonder how they are placed in other places as well, correlating to the same star.
Okay, just for random, right? Just for random, let's just look up another couple of pyramids and see where they go. Just to see where they fit now, just randomly. Pyramids. It'd just be interesting to see if they follow.
Yeah, just look up. Give me the information, then put it in.
just got to learn to spell pyramids first. Like, I'm tired and.
Yeah. Pyramids.
And I've already made a video that's going to go out.
Do it without it, because it's not always a collection of pyramids.
I'm just looking.
Pyramids.
What's that one?
It could that.
Okay, that's in Egypt, which you've got Egypt. Oh, I know. I'm going to do it this way because we're taking a bit of time. I'm just going to look up pyramids in South America.
Okay.
Right, here we go. Oh, come on. Right. Oh, it's still not showing me enough. Hang on. Pyramid is called. It says Pyramid of. And the name is D J O S.
Closer.
Yeah.
Egypt. Big facts. They give that. Geo link seems pretty close. Closer. It's in Egypt. That's not South America.
Isn't it? Hang on.
The third is Uxmal. Oh, there's a whole list here.
Cool, so I don't need to keep giving them to you then.
Pyramids, Asian pyramids, Aztec pyramids, Maya pyramids.
Couldn't you just pick one or two out of those series and find out where they just pick randomly a couple and put them in and see if they match up to the Capricorn line, or whether some of them, sorry, Cancer line, and whether some of them just go to the Capricorn line.
Yeah, just see.
If there's any in Europe, so you'd have to be running on the Cancer line.
Of the equator. sort of linked.
Great, we're getting a good view at seeing really where the pyramids really are, if you're still with us 1 hour 40 minutes in.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So there's all the pyramids that Ceres has put in, and that one there is Giza. All close to here. There are some in Africa as well. Oh, very interesting.
Giza is very concentrated. Mexico a little less.
Of course, the ones in the sea. There at the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Wow. Ceres, I've now been taping this for 1 hour and 3/4 for the group. Do you think that's enough for them to, like, digest?
I guess so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, Ceres. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I understand the pictures and a lot of what you're saying, but there are a few bits that I'm like, sort of like, as you're explaining them and everything, I think, yeah, okay. But hopefully this explains it a bit more to the group. So thank you so much. A lot to take in, guys. But I think Ceres is making history, really. This is what we're really living on. It's more than a map, isn't it, Ceres?
The square pixel is the square kilometer, is the square mile. It's everything just horizontally measured in 2D. So, yeah, if you grasp the fourth dimensional looping, then you will grasp the fifth dimensional looping the same. The sixth dimension is I guess this next step in the tree of life, where you have also the middle garden. That's the drawing I made with World Beyond the Poles map. When you have these double circles, actually, the Earth place and the heavenly place, as two opposites in the opposites of a circle. West, for in the quarter of the circle, you have probably those axes of the Polaris point and the southern circle. And we see the whole fifth dimensional circle back as well. I've made a drawing to illustrate it a bit of how you see it from the flat. This one. If you take the whole length as the fifth dimensional circle, then you have the heavenly edge on the sides, and the Earth in the middle, and probably a quarter, and the southern circle center axis, also in the quarter. And we see that back as the wheel turns around, turns over us as the starry sky.
Oh my
Where we see
goodness.
the realms.
That doesn't half look like, when you look at the middle one, it sort of could look quite like the Big Dipper, because it bends down, then
Middle circle here, it's probably the couple and where we see the sky above.
But you know the middle bit?
Also beyond.
I was really shocked when it came like across my house and it bent down, and then it goes up in the sky and it does all this twisting, and then I get it seeing over here, but I've never seen this bit. It's almost like the middle of that is the Big Dipper, how it goes round.
Yeah, you see also the 12-hour celestial realm and the 24-hour clockwise and counterclockwise. In where it actually turns as a wheel in where we have the focus points of the two circles.
Or maybe it comes past my house and goes down there, and then it spends all this time going up, and then it's got to go round to come down here. Sort of as the shape it's making. Oh my goodness, that's totally that's blown my mind now. Ceres, we've got to end. We've been going for 1 hour 50 minutes. There's loads to talk about, I know. And I know you could go on. Oh my goodness, something else to take on board now. You're a meanie, Ceres.
Yeah. This is the three-dimensional presentation of the fifth-dimensional circle.
Just throwing more into the mix.
Yep. I wonder how 60 will be.
Level, you mean?
The down. You have the east-west side view of side directions. Then you have the four of the up-down in the two-dimensional field. What is the side view from
Ceres, is that our dome then? So it's not actually round like a complete dome. It's in 3 bits like that to make the dome. Is that what we're living? Is that our dome as well?
No,
is that reflecting our dome?
Here's the middle circle in the center, and that is probably how we switch from realm to realm. And probably it's 7 realms to come at the Polaris realm, further to come at the heavenly realm, and in between you have several levels of octaves of several other realms. I'm not sure how or not, blah blah. But we see it back as the starry sky, the celestial sky, and that's a bit how it seems to work. The earth as our realm in the center, in the heart of it.
Okay, group. Just more in the mix. More in the mix. That's kind of like the flower of the flower of life, or whatever you want to call it. That could be like a sideways shot of the tree of life, the flower of life as well, if you know what I mean. You've got like a cross section of the flower of life or the tree of life now.
Yeah, the full-dimensional, fifth-dimensional circle. What is actually this? And where we see the Earth circle here between the poles.
Which, of course, we see as a straight line, because this is 4th dimension.
Yeah, we see this as there's also a circle in there, in here. She decided to cut off the 5th dimensional circle.
But we see it go straight across in 3rd dimension.
Yeah, and the third dimension is, in this sense, a fifth-dimensional a circle and a three-dimensional line looping into itself. It's the same for east-west through the square. That's the fourth-dimensional over the x-axis. The z-axis is the fifth-dimensional one.
Do you think that...
I mean, this is x, this is y.
You know, at this point where the sun gets to its sort of highest zenith for you in your bubble of perspective, I can't say the word now, perspective, can you see on there where all the 12 o'clocks for everybody are, the midday?
Yeah, it's kind of an energy wheel, what is turning or something. I don't know what is forcing this. But it's probably through the center.
I meant on your map, on the other map. On that
here,
one.
You know,
on the other map.
These north and south polarities counting this. That in the sense that you have here the northern sky and there the southern sky. Exactly, the wheel turning there. And it's pretty low in angle, I guess. But we can figure out where the angle is the highest.
Ezekiel's wheel was always another dimension. It wasn't a dimension we thought we could see, and thinking, well, let's prove the Ezekiel wheel. It can't happen like that because it's in fifth dimension or whatever.
It's several times the square. It's if you ask me, at least 7 times as far as we have east, west, wide in square sense.
Can you put your map back up, Ceres? On there, it's obviously not the Tree of Life one, but on there, can you see everybody's midday on there? The 12 o'clock when the sun seems the highest in the sky, on that angle of...
Could be there 12 o'clock moment. Yeah, there's this with this time zone translation, and I'm using this standard time zone translation. But it's all relative towards the sun, and if you ask me, as on the second, and this is probably why they have this time notation of the latitude longitude, in where they have just a degree and a minute and a second, and a real number for actual precise positions. But yeah, in time zones you can divide it all into that translation, where they should have their 12 noon sun exactly on the minute or on the second. Even. Exact time position is correlating to the sun noon position.
Wow. I never knew square Earth would have so many circles in it. But you have to understand what the circles are. You love that, don't you, Ceres?
Yeah, I'm working so long with Flower of Life already, and thinking Flower of Life, and how the hell that actually correlates. And then I saw this with this square, and why, and then especially the translation formula between the latitude and longitude to the XY coordinates. That actually created a complete new square on top, on the bottom of it. We never see, because they just don't show these images. And the formula is actually based on the wideness of the Earth on the x-axis.
and that's creating the maximum latitude of 85. What is the exact 0 point on the top of the square?
Ceres, we've given the group just more thought, more in the mix. Should we save some of this for another hangout now, Ceres?
Yeah.
Well, group, Ceres could talk about this for hours, I think days. And we've even found, he's even noticed things tonight, let alone plotting some of those pyramids. And just making history, because this is all coming together and he's working so hard. Thank you, Ceres, and thanks, group, for listening. We're going now. Well, Ceres and I probably will carry on talking to each other, but for the group, thank you very much. Say goodbye, Ceres.
Till next time.
Yeah, part 1,000,025, and we've got millions to go. Well, it is like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, bye, group.
Bye-bye.